welcome to this episode, which is kind of a bit of an epic one. Going to try and put power folding mirrors on our 2009 Nissan Sentra SER. So we'll go through what I've got to do this. Stuck with Nissan mirrors, generally the same shape, a little bit sleeker than the Sentra and that. These are a 03 to 05 JDM 350Z. So it has power folding, it has the power adjust. So, and then I've also went and got the heated mirrors, which the Sentra already has. I couldn't find anything on the Nissan 350Zs that had heated mirrors in that year, so we'll just retrofit that and just have to run the wires after the fact. So that's that lot there. What we're actually going to do is probably to make these fit, because the Sentra's trim around their mirrors are a lot bigger, so I figure I'm probably going to go with plastic welding. We'll pull the old one off, cut off what we need, and basically see how this fits with the actual bolting it to it, and then plastic weld, cut out the other one and plastic weld to this one, and try to make it look very natural. Then the power folding part, originally I was just going to go with just an aftermarket one and do all the wiring. So I have that. They're only like 20 something bucks off AliExpress, but then I kind of wanted to make it look a bit more OEM. So I tracked down the door controls for the mirror. This is the same shape switch and so on, but this is off a QASHQAI. I think you're looking at about 07 to 2013. I think it's specifically off of 2013, this one, because it had the power fold button there. But we're also hooking it up to the remote lock, so they'll open and shut with that too. But I also wanted the manual one in case you wanted to do it outside of locking, having to use the remote. The only thing with these ones, that in the QASHQAI, these went on the dash, so that's how they sit. You can see that's all the right way up. In the Sentra, it's in the door, so this will just be a bit off, just because you're just going to have to get used to the way it adjusts, because it's not going to be left, right, up and down, just because this normally goes in the dash, like I said, and your one in the door has your left and right, obviously to left and right of the car, the way it sits in the door, so it's a little bit off, but yeah, so that's all the same wiring. So we got all that. Maybe at the thought that it'd be easier, half the wiring done for us. I don't know if that's going to be the case. That's the power folding module that goes in it, because this is basically this kit they sell is to retrofit like a QASHQAI or an X-Trail, I think, too, to give yourself power folding mirrors. Well, I think they have power folding mirrors, but this is to allow you to unlock and lock, like the mirrors will go in and out when you lock the car and so on. Otherwise in the standard QASHQAI and X-Trail, you had to do the button if you wanted to make them come in and out manually. So this just makes it so it does it when you lock the car and unlock and they open. And then I was trying to find a harness with all the wires in there, which is feel impossible to get. So I contacted people on AliExpress who sold me this. This is about, I think, 29 bucks for the whole kit. The switch I had to get from Europe, that actual switch, because they don't sell them in North America or anywhere else in the world, it doesn't seem. So it's a European model if you're looking for it. And just asked them for another harness, which I think was $13, which was way cheaper and easier. I won't need this part, which goes to the module, but I will. I'm unsure yet if I'm just going to cut it, because I just need the male part to plug in and then basically splice the wires, I think is how I'm going to go. So I'll just cut the wires further down, mainly, yeah, these ones here, which go to the module, but I'll still keep them in case I need them, and then all these ones go to your mirrors and so on. So that's the plan. Easy, right? So first things first, I think we'll is going to be mounting that up, because I don't think it's all doable, the wiring. It's just a matter of working out the mess that's there in all different colors. But yeah, I'll get these mounted. Once I'm mounted, I can at least start concentrating on the wiring then. And this is, don't know which is harder, whether doing the plastic welding, mounting these all up, making these, or doing the wiring. Guess we'll find out. Okay, we've broken the original one down, got it into separate pieces. This one, little piece comes from like that. It's got 1, 2, 3 screws here, and then you've got one screw in here, and then the actual motor for the power adjust for the mirror is there. It's got 4 screws in there. Take that out, unplug it, and then just like that. We'll most likely use this, I think, and then we'll probably most likely cut this off here, and then reattach it with the 3 screws there, so we can use the original mount holes. On this one we'll just, I think, either just file this down so it's flatter, so I can fit in there, and then, like I say, we'll cut out something like that fits in there. I think we'll try and keep the in the end too, I think the actual plugs are exactly the same. So although I'll probably be using these, that's why I did buy these ones, because they just cut them off, and so that comes with all the wiring already needed. Like I say, I'll just have to run one for the heated mirror, and I actually fitted cameras to mine, mirror cams, so I'll just have to drill a hole for that. That's what I've done here. So do that. So that actually breaks down really well. Actually, that I think works pretty well. So as long as I can get the new one fitting in there. It's a little bit tricky. Actually, this actually comes off. This part actually comes off as well. I've actually got 2 screws in here. So take that off, but I want to really try and preserve these screw holes, which could be a little tricky. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Okay, so gone through a few little changes. Originally we had, I was going to weld this in, but the angle was too steep and put the mirror up. And try different ways to kind of compensate that, but the best way is to kind of, you can see the difference in angle. Essentially that was right around, so it's too close, so you got to bring it out. So there'll be a bunch of plastic welding that goes on in there. I ordered another mirror to get the plate here. I used one off eBay. It was about 50 bucks, I think, Canadian, so all part of my R&D cost, as you would expect. But yeah, I had to put the bracing in there. We went from an aluminum plate to a steel angle plate to stop the vibration. A lot of vibration just with the drive when it's on. So it's sorted that. This is screwed to. We ended up cutting. There's a plastic or ABS part that comes out here through the old mirror. We cut that off flush, and that is just screwed, so it's quite handy. So it keeps all the original mounting points. I still be able to get that through there. My change is this: there's channels that run through the 350Z mirror, so I'm going to try and get this wire coming out more straight in, and that'll make it easy for me to place to weld this up. When the new one comes, so the original hole is around here anyway, so it won't damage all this, so it'll just be essentially just welding around these parts, so hopefully a lot less. Right now I just have the problem of that it's angled down. You have to pretty much adjust this right up to be able to see, so I'm just going to twist the plate, twist this part just up. I've got the room for adjustment there, so I'll just twist it up, and so it sits a bit more center, so you have adjustment up and down in this mirror. So that's what I'm just doing now, and then I think I've got it sorted. That's pretty much where I want it to be, which isn't a bad turnaround. It's taken me just over the course of the week to sort that. And it sits about the same height as the original old one. It just needs to be angled. This whole mirror just needs to be angled back a bit. Probably about 5 mils I think would do it, if that. So you don't have to twist it much, and that should get it up. So then you can actually adjust this more down, have it more centered, hopefully, is the idea. But yeah, so far it's working out pretty good. Okay, I thought I'd give you an idea. I was going to start making the bracket for the passenger's side. That's the aluminium one that I made for the drivers. So I'm just reversing this for the other side. Double check it, but try and give you the dimensions of this bracket here. Try and do this in millimeters, and so on this longest side we'll call it 148 mils on that side, and the short side 124. Okay, I'll give you in inches. Call that 5 3/4, 5 inches 3/4 on the long side. And I don't know if you can, I don't know my inches as good as I do millimeters, so I'm just going to show you that one. And then the bend to millimeters, where you bend it, that's pretty much spot on 100 on the long side and 80 on this side, so 180, and that's where you'll bend it, depending on which way, what side you're doing, drivers or passengers. And that angle, we'll try and, okay, we're just gonna, so that's set at 45 of course, we're just gonna sit that at the top, and I'm just gonna measure down this side. I can read that one in inches, that's like 1.25 inches. This side, call it about 32 millimeters to get that angle. Don't have another gas to measure that angle with, but so we go with that. The holes pretty much just line them. I would say put them wherever you think you're going to get the best place to secure into. That's how I probably switch to rivets. I just do the screws just temporarily there, but those things eventually strip because the plastic's it's strong, but it's very thin, and the plastic will just strip in the end when you try and tighten them down. So I'll rivet them. We'll put a washer on the back and pull those in tight. Will be the best way. And then with the plastic welding, what we're going to do on it to pretty it up, should secure it pretty tight. There was a twist we did do it just to lift it up. I mean, you can do this by just probably raising the mirror a bit, but for adjustment we did twist it. This part here we just angled up just a smidge to get the right angle, which still works. So I'll just do the passenger side in the same placement and give it a little bit of a twist as well, to keep everything similar on that. But yeah, this one here I'm just getting ready. I'm just going to drill the top holes, then we'll cut it and bend this the right way, the opposite of this guy, to make its passenger mirror. And then we'll pull down this one. There, I still got to cut this along there, obviously, get rid of all this. And when we secure it, we take off that lower, this lower panel, get those 3 screws out, and this is where these brackets screw and attach to. And that, I mean, if you had a 3D printer, you could design it. You could actually just redesign that whole piece that screws in on the factory one, come out and attach this somehow better. You still have to plastic weld in there, so half dozen one or the other. But probably give it a more OEM look. But this way will work, I think, too. Get there in the end. Okay, just one other thing too. The bracket isn't bent. So this is looking at the driver's side one. Isn't bent at 90 degrees. It's on an angle sitting out more. So I think I'll leave the other one to you. I've just put there sitting 90 to the base just to show you the difference. But I'd leave it to you to adjust yours, but don't put it at 90 degrees because that's going to be too steep. It's going to have to be out, but I would just do it partial. It's a lot of taking off, putting on, but I would do it until you think you've got that one right, and that's where you can make your mirror copy and that off the other one. But yeah, definitely not 90 degrees. Bend it partial, put it on, see if it works and looks right, sitting in it, and look at your mirror. That's what we've had to do, is getting it right. So the mirror's at the right height and angle. It's more the angle. We got the height straight away because we basically set that at the same height as the old one. It was more the angle, it was tilted to get the right view at the mirror, because you still want a lot of adjustment in the mirror, side to side and back to front, side to side and up and down. So just something to be aware of there. Okay, so my other trim piece came in, so we put that in and it fits in pretty much within the hole, actually right inside. So I'm going to see if I can get a friend to make me up a cover, 3D print. I'll make a template of that, and then see if we can just get something that fits over, then use automotive panel glue. I think I'll paint it black and then put it over. That way I can sort of, if I have to, I can just basically pull it off and undo the screws and get it off if I need to. Otherwise, if I do it the other way, it's all locked in and something breaks, I won't be able to ever get to it. And then it's really about just dollying this part up. I'm going to see on the other one when I do the other side, see if I can just
use a heat cutter and kind of fold the part that goes up, see if I can fold it over and then cut it, and that way I won't have to fill this side, this part in. It's not a lot, but it's still something I have to add to there. I've still got the cover for the bottom. I'm just going to add a bit to it, plastic weld to it, and that should be good under there. And that should fit up nicely, that'd be good enough. I will trim this off, and then yeah, see if I can get a cover to sit flush to the top of this and over, and then I'll just fill this gap in, plastic weld it in. But yeah, should blend in well. Like I say, they're both Nissan mirrors, chosen because they look very similar. And that I'll start on this one. We'll go through the whole process of where to cut and so on. I want to get this one mocked up, and then yeah, I've got to make a template of those two parts and see if I can get the 3D printed plate to go over it. Winter's rushing in here, so I want to get it kind of sealed in and hopefully get the wiring done and tie it all up. Okay, so first part you want to take off is this. Just got to pull it. But you're going to have to, I found you can't quite get that wire out, this plug out. You've just got to cut it enough to get it out, but there is a tape I've got to take off first, if I can get to it. Prick. Get it started. Sure you don't cut the wire. Don't necessarily need this plug, but I don't think you want to go and cut it and find out you need it. Yeah, because you do need this part again, so you don't want to totally damage it. Next thing is to start, let me get the mirror off. You just kind of pull, usually they pop off. This one's a bit knackered, and it's already up anyway. There we go. I'm trying to keep these wires, I'll see if I can reuse them, because the new mirrors, the 350Zs, didn't come with it. I'm going to try and thread these pulleys out in the end. See if I can get them from this end. This might be the tricky part. I was hoping to see if I can pop the pins out, but might be a little tricky on that one. Okay. Next is 4 screws. 1, 2, 3 and 4. There's actually another one in here. This the first 4 here take off the actual motor part, and then this other one holds the main frame for this. Kind of hold on to the screws, not that I really need them as such, but looks like it's broken here. Okay, so that loosens, taking off that last screw loosens this off, and then there's two screws here, and that releases the main frame, and that should slide off. And you want to keep these 2 screws because you will be screwing these back into the same hole. It's actually 3 on this piece. There's actually one more at the top. Up here. Kind of wiggle it out. That gets that piece out. You want keeping this piece here. So there's 2 screws in here which will release the mirror part. Someone's been trying to glue this together before. So these are the 2 parts we need. You can take this wire out. Like I said, we don't really need this wire loom. Yeah, so I've made this bracket up already for the side, and so once this is gone, this will screw into that part. I'll just kind of line it up with the other one I've done, kind of position it the same. But we do want to keep these 2 wires for if you're going to keep the heating, the mirror part. Like I say, I'm going to try and it'll be these 2 here. I've got to see if I can unclip them somehow, pop them out. There is a way to do it. I just got to work that one out. Now we'll just concentrate on this part. So basically on this, we don't want all this part here. So you kind of just cut this. You do just cut this flush all the way around, so it's flush with this part here. That's what I did with the other one. And then with this, we're just going to cut all this kind of outer flange off. Okay, I think I'll whip the edges off here on this one first, clean that one up, that's an easy one, and then we'll go to the bigger piece where the mirror mounts to. So that's pretty much that one done. Just took a whole lot off this time. And so we'll try and get a cover made up to sit and cover these edges. We'll just use panel glue on there, and then if I ever need to get back in there, we can just kind of at least pry it off and get access to it again. Okay. It's rubbish, makes some mess. Like I say, this is the one we've already cleaned up for the first side. So it's pretty much just leveling it down right down. So we've got to take off everything, all of this round, and that we won't need this part. Okay, so we've cut that down. It's a mixture of the Dremel just going around the side. You probably just could use the bigger hand grinder, the 110 volt grinder plug-in with cutting disc. You need that depth on the blade to get in. You could do other ways. You could probably sawzalls it off maybe, but yeah, at the end of the day you just got to smooth it off and get all that good. So I'm just gonna muck around. I think tonight I'm just gonna look at getting these lined up together, just measure and so on, get those done. And then tomorrow I'll cut down the 350Z mirror there. I'll do better measurements on this, and I did slightly twist it, but that's more of a, once you get it in there, just seeing how it lines up to where you are, and you can just twist it just to lift the mirror up a bit and give it a bit more, just change the viewing angle and that, because you want to get it as good as you can, like where the mirror is just flat, and that way it gives you adjustment both sides and up and down. You don't want to limit yourself too much. But yeah, I'm going to get these together, and that's pretty much it for this side. And then yeah, we'll get on to the actual 350Z mirror tomorrow night and cut that sucker down and keep this rolling along. Okay, so onto the mirror. Now I've just been cleaning it up. I just cut out all. So there is a bit of the main frame that goes over. Actually, this wire sits in there. It goes over top, so I just cut each side and got the wire out of the way and kind of cut this down, smoothed it out. And I cut out a lot of the bracing in here in the corner for the reason I'm going to unscrew it here and take the mirror away, just move it back a bit and try and heat this up and try to fold this flat so it gives me a bit more to work with. We'll see if we can. We'll try and heat it up in the corner. Okay, I kind of got it heated up, but then in the end it just kind of split along the edge of where it comes down on the 350Z one. But that's alright, it did break along. Not a bad spot. I've just got to clean this up. And I've still got to take out a notch in here. I'm going to take these parts, I'm going to take this small straight in line with this part here. Just take this to meet with this point. So we've cut a notch out, like I have on this other side, like this one. I think I've just got to cut a little bit off the end here, but I'll see. I'll see if I can heat that up and just get that to move in a bit. Doesn't need to move much there. We don't know if we can plastic weld this so much. It's kind of a weird plastic, or it's just old, I don't know. But I might end up using epoxy to do it. So actually looking at it, if you could get someone actually to 3D print the bottom part here, you could actually do that, which would actually be a lot easier. But yeah, we'll get a 3D cover made up for the top part here to come across and meet the top. And I've just got to fill in, like I say, if you have to use an epoxy, I'll just build this up, build it up till it meets in here, and then fill in the top. And I can still use the bottom covers that came with this. I just got to extend them a little bit, which I can plastic weld those. That's alright. But no, looks right. You can't really see. Kind of see it, but they do look pretty good. I had them out. They do look level. Just remember the two sides are different. Usually that one is a little bigger. I found that the hole is a little bit bigger. I line them up pretty close to the holes that go through the back here. So to the back here, I lined it more up with that. It came out pretty good. So I don't think you're going to notice a few mils out. So I was able to plastic weld that. I just heated up. You can just keep the iron on the actual old part there, and you get it till it's tacky, and start laying down some of the new ABS there. Started building it up. I've still got to build up a bit to the at the outside here. I've built it out far enough. I'm about 1/4 inch too far right now. It'll give me enough room to clean it up, but then we're just got to add some to the top to build the layer up. But really strong in that. Not that that's holding anything. It's all back here on the old part, but it does work. I'm just going to cut a notch out. I just welded straight over the where I had the wire going through on this side. So I'm just going to trim out a piece in here. I figured it's just easier to fill it in for now, and then we'll trim it out so we can run the wire through there again. But no, this is working. Okay, so we're pretty much in the cleanup phase here of all the body work. I got my friend to 3D print a panel to sit in there. I'll show you that. I'm just going to paint that black, and then we'll caulk it along here. I've got to clean this up. The plastic weld in there, we'll sand that down. Still got to touch up the bit more onto this piece in this corner. I'll clean it up, and then I think we'll get an epoxy glue there and trying to touch up any of the pitting stuff. But that panel should work good there. It sits right over the original raise there. It'll stop any water getting in. You just the other idea was to just glue a piece of flat ABS or PVC over top as well, if you don't have access to a 3D printer there. Yeah, I want to start running the wires, but so I just got to clean up these pieces. I've got the original base piece here, which for the most part does work. I just got to add a piece into there, as you can see. This is a better kind of ABS plastic, I think. It's easier to weld to. So I just weld a couple of strips on there and then clean that up. And that should keep that all clean because it does sit down there pretty good. What I did do was take the grind the lip off. You can kind of see there, kind of had a raised edge. We just took that off, and then that'll still screw down in there. And most of the little hooks, it's got a little hook here. That'll should sit in there pretty good and help keep that sealed. I'll have a look. I might still caulk it along the edge. We'll see, but it is the lower edge. It's more about stopping moisture coming in from the top, and that. I've still got to just add a little piece to there, as you can see, just in there. Sand this down anyway. It'll, yeah, that's still got to come down a little bit. It's pointed up a little bit. We'll sand that down, and then just add a bit more in there. So just a little bit of touch-ups on both sides. That's where we're at with that. And then we're going to run the wires through. I'm going to actually rerun the old. I've got to check the plug in the back of the power mirror side. And that, let's see what it looks like. This is the one from the original Sentra. As you can see, we've got the female, and on the 350s you've got the male. So I'm going to try and keep the Sentra all the same. So we're going to rerun this through. Okay. We've added quite a bit in there now. Filled it in a lot closer. Again, we'll just use epoxy to fill in these imperfections there. Since I'm spraying it, it doesn't have to be any particular colour. I'll just get one of the marine ones, marine epoxy. So yeah, I brought it out further in here. I've sanded it a bit, but we'll just use the epoxy to fill in a bit more. In the bottom here, we've made the bottom cover here go in a bit further. It does have an original hole here. I'm not too sure what that was for originally, but I think I'll use that to screw. I'll put a screw in there to screw down this, and then that'll sit down and just hold that piece in now, just because we've extended it. The original had hooks that clipped in, but just because we've extended it and I've taken a bit of the edge off. just doesn't clip in there anymore, but there. And the little gaps along here, again, I'll just cork, I think. It'll be the easiest for that. Yeah, so that's just in there a little nicer now. This will tidy it up, and that's black. Just corking, around the corking just along the edges. And on the inside we'll glue that on, and then I'll just fill around the edges to clean that off. I'll be pretty happy with that. There. And then yeah, I'll get to the wiring. So yeah, I think just for the rest of the day I'm just gonna epoxy, clean this up, get it ready. I think I'm going to take the screws out there in the end and just put actual nut and bolt through something a little shorter than this, but similar idea, and then put a lock nut on the other side. That way I don't have to worry about the screws coming loose, and it's actually bolted on, because there'll be 4. There's one up in here screw, the 2 you can see, and then one down here just to hold it, so it makes a solid connection to the original brace. Okay, I've just been cleaning up the actual mount and that, and we just did these screws through, which were 8x32s, 1 inch for these 3 here, and then I used a longer one here. I think you only need like 1.5 inches, and I just cut her off their level. I cut these off flush too a bit better, because the rubber seal between the door and here goes over. That one does look a bit messy, but you do need one to secure against here to stop vibration, so it's on an angle, as you can see. I'm not too sure how I could do that a bit better. Then I just honed this out a bit without taking anything really from the structural part of it, just so you can get the actual plug through there, in and out. Okay, you're not really going to see a lot of this, so yeah, so that'd be nicer if it's set flush or something, but I have to go with function. Little form on that one. That's the silicone glue, RTV silicone glue I got to seal around the little cover I got near around when I'm finally finished. And I'm just going to use plastic weld. It's cream color, but I will be painting that part black anyway on the mirror, and so that won't matter, that color. So yeah, I'm just going to put this back together, and then I'll start filling and finishing off the mirror itself. Okay, I've been doing a bit of the sanding and cleaning up. I just kind of painted this one. This is the underneath cover. Hasn't too bad, just little surface scratches here and there, but it's going to get that anyway. But we just sprayed that. That's the pieces we added on there, as you can see. So that's come out okay. We just sprayed the cover that goes over the outside that I got 3D printed. Just gotta see if I can clean that up a bit, but otherwise that came out alright. We just used filler primer in the end. It seemed to work a little better just to finish off some of the little blemishes and that. So before I go and paint that, I'll take pretty much take the wiring off so I can actually paint this too, because I want this to be black. As I was saying, I'm going to put the carbon fiber skins over it. I don't need to paint the whole thing, like I said. I just have to paint the outside here mostly. I'm not going to go full in, really the bottom and around to there probably, and just around in here, but I'm not going to go the full paint job on that one. So with the wiring, we're going to pull this lot out. This is the original one from Sentra. It's not the same plug there, but I think this one's more important. I want to keep it the same as the Sentra plug, so for inside and all that. So I'm gonna cut these and splice these into these ones. Okay, so I started just toying around with the wires here. So this is the original Sentra one. Let's cut off the original plug that went into the power adjust. Don't need that. These are the two heated mirror, the two black ones are the heated mirror ones. I managed to pull apart, kind of ended up, wasn't as easy, but I managed to just slice it open nicely and get two of the prongs out of it and slide into this one, and this will be for the power fold. Use these two for, not same color, I'm not too worried. I know where they go, so it's all good. So I've chopped off the ends here. I'm going to keep it the same length as the original Sentra one because that does work and it comes just inside the window where it should. And so up here with the power adjust ones, I'll cut them up here and then solder them together, and then put the heat shrink on it and seal those terminals up. The purple does join down here, it comes from 2 into 1, so we'll cut the purple back here and connect it back here like they did, but keep everything the same length as the Sentra. And that's pretty simple. And then we'll connect up the power fold here. All I did was remember that the pink on my one goes to the outside, to the brown on this. Whatever color you make it, but just remember which way they go when they came out of the, when you cut them out of the plug. And that, keep them the same. Yeah, and I'll just run those through and trim them off and solder them onto that. That should be the wiring, but you've got to wait. I'm just finishing letting the other part dry. We painted that. Okay, I've run most of the wires through this lot. You got to double check things and make sure you've got everything through. You don't want to be doing this again. It took me a little while to thread the powerful wires through, get it through the sheath there. Does get it working though. Oh, I got it through. So I'm just going to solder them together. Solder them. Got our heat shrink on there. So once we've soldered them, we'll slide that up, hit it with the heat, and shrink that over. Protect the wires. Then that's the part done, and then I've just got to work on connecting the upper part. What I will do, where it goes through the actual power fold body, through there, I'm going to just chuck some synthetic grease in there just to help things move so they don't bind together at all. One thing I think I will have to do for the heated mirror side of things, because the original ones from the Sentra are pretty short, the plugins at the close end to the door, and this one it's on the far outer, so I'll just have to extend these. So I'll just cut them and solder on a piece of wire. Colors, not so worried about. Like yeah, these obviously are not the same color as that, but as long as I know the position, that's what I'm more worried about. At the end of the day, you're not going to see these are inside the door, but I have put heat shrink red and black on there, kind of note negative, positive kind of deal. Yeah, but again, you're not going to see that once that's kind of pulled up really. You might just see a little bit of the end of the heat shrink there. Yeah, we'll solder these together, then we'll work on this end, and we should get that all back together and see if we can get it in the car and to see if the power adjust works. I won't be able to test the, maybe tomorrow morning I might be able to test the mirror heated function. We are getting frost here now, so we can see about that one, but main thing is to get this back together, wired up back together, and let's see if the power adjust works there. So we started working on the passenger side one. We've got the driver's side was wired up and put that in, and that tested it. The power adjust mirror still works. Haven't had a chance to test the heated mirror part yet. So this one, we've just adjusted this. This was kind of way out here. we cut that out and then started plastic welding in here. Basically going to try and build this, or I'm going to build this up so it curves out more to here. Same with this side. Get this to come out more in line with this. If we put our little cover on, just going to try and match up to more match into with these sides here. Same with the other one down here. Get it swoop out a bit better than that. And for the cover for the bottom, basically just have to put this width on here, down on for the bottom cover. So I'll just weld this on, cut it, and we'll just fill in and weld it a bit more. But we're just going to keep on with this one, welding. For this one, I don't think I really need to do much in the groove here. It will get sanded flat a bit more. But this is where we put that RTV glue in that joint there anyway. So I figure that's gonna not mess around with that. We'll just keep on building this up. This one's going a little bit better. Really heated it up and got this really malleable. On the old mirror side, old plastic there. Don't know if it's ABS. It's definitely a harder kind of plastic, but once you get it melted and then just mix this in with it, you get melt all the new ABS. Okay, just with the wiring, with the 350Z mirror, it has two purples coming out of the power adjust mirror part of it. This doesn't matter, you still just hook where they've got it joined. I just put a little bit, I'm going to solder just to the end there, to the old or the original Sentra. We'll still just go purple to purple, and then same with these, just blue to blue and yellow to yellow. These are your original heated mirror ones. You just have to extend them. I just chop the ends off, place a wire in between, put the heat shrink on, and just because it's longer, the mirror, the heated part's on the outside opposed to the inside on the Sentra, the two terminals. And then your power fold part of it goes through, and again, not the same color at this end, just what I could get out of the old one, the same prongs, so it all plugs in the same. You'll still see these parts. As long as you wire, say pink goes on the outside of this one, orange goes to the inside, so orange will go to blue on this part, pink to purple. Again, these are not the original colors here, these are just what I could get out of the old terminal. Saves me, and then keeps it all nice into the same terminal. And again, we'll just do the same on the outside. We'll just put two terminals there and that, but it's not too hard. The hardest thing is just remember you thread it through all the holes the right way, make sure everything kind of goes together. The other one I did get this upside down, so just make sure you check those kind of things and that. But yeah, other than that, it's fairly simple. It's just trying to get the wires fed through. Because I have the 360 cam in the mirror coming through, same hole, gets it a little tight. But I just use the synthetic grease in there to help keep everything moving and not binding together. It wasn't super tight, but just enough to just put a bit of synthetic grease in there to keep things not binding together and moving freely. Okay. Gonna carry on with this. I've still got paint and kind of bodywork to do on this. Clean that one up. I've got the mirror over there drying. It's just had its clear coat put on. So once that's dried, and this is dried off, I've still got to clean this up. And the bottom piece, clean those up, paint those, clear coat them, and then just start putting this one together. After that, we can start putting, basically working on the wiring, actually the power folding part of it, which will be good on the final run. See how fast we can tie that up. Just quickly show you, I'm just putting the wires together. So we're just putting purple to purple. This is just part of the heated mirror one. This is typically black. Just reusing the wire. We'll just red some, well, you'll be able to see where it goes anyway. but just reuse the wire if you don't really have anything else. Just save you some money. There you can see we soldered them together. I mean, you could use terminals. Soldering's probably a little cleaner. And then we just slide the heat shrink over it, like right over there, like we've done here. And just heat it up, just slowly. I usually just use the solder iron. Just gotta run it over. You don't hold it too long. It helps shrink it quick. I've still got to cut this other heated mirror one here. Just extend that one too. Again, they come to the outside, different to the Sentra. They go a little further. That should almost tie up the wiring. Put this one together and get it on. Then I can start on the power folding part. There. Yeah, we're getting there. Quickly kind of explain how to take these apart. Actually, now I've got it back together. So the main power adjust motor here, that has 3 screws, one here, and one here. That'll release that. Then for the actual main power fold motor, that's held in by one here, and then behind the power adjust is one up here. And that's the only 2 that hold on there. And then down here you have to take out this one and this one, and then the thing will actually come out. Pretty simple. Okay, I'm just gonna get this other European switch in here. Again, that was from the panel, so you can see how they differ. Same shape, but has the on or close open for the auto fold mirror, but then this is just back to front here. So, but that's not a big deal as long as I understand it and which way I gotta toggle it to adjust the mirrors. At least it'll hopefully still fit in there. Gonna try and basically just get this in today and see if it still operates my mirrors, my power adjust, and then I think next weekend I'll start looking at doing the power fold part of it. But get this swapped over, linked in, and then go from there. Okay, got the new switch in. That works fine. It's plugged through the wiring that came with the auto fold box, so that still runs into there. That still works fine. Still yet remains to be seen if probably going to have to re-splice with the extra one I got. I'll have to probably re-splice this one into here, just because the extra wires and the plugs are a little bit different. Not so much different, but the don't know if the pins are exactly the same, but that's good. That works fine. Okay, so today I'm going to start working on the power fold side of things on here. So this side is the original Sentra part. We're going to take our extra loom here. This is the one we want because everything has all the wires in the back. It's just easier this way. I'll put all the list of parts and where to get them in the description there. Yeah, I'm just going to splice this one in place, and so this is the way it plugs in. We're just going to go through, we'll start with yellow first. We'll just start the top, go across, or the bottom, and then just do each one as I go. So it sits, yeah, switch sits that way, same. So you just have it up the right way and splice each wire in. So we'll just cut it. I'll probably cut this back a little bit, cut it here somewhere. I'll cut this back further, leave enough wire on, a bit extra, and then we'll just solder them. I'll put the heat shrink on first, slide it up, solder, heat shrink down, close up the open wire, the heat shrink, and then go to the next one. Okay, so to show you what we're starting with, so that's how they sit together like that, like level. So I started with the bottom wire on the original, and then bottom wire
on the replacement. The replacement does have a couple of wires coming out of the same. I've left them for now, the white and that. If I don't need them, I'll just take them off later. And obviously they're not the same color. This doesn't matter as long as you're putting same to same of what's there, and then all your power adjusts should work same. And it's just a matter of sorting out what your power fault and the others are. So we'll carry on, get that done. Okay, just wiring all that up. I end up with 3 wires left over, so that'd be my power fault somewhere in those 3. I believe. I tested the power adjust, they still all work, which is good news. What I might do is try and sort out these, the lock. That's a constant power 12, which I should be able to find here in my lock part, because they always work. Anything that works without a key is a constant 12, so it should be here somewhere close, so I should be able to find that. And yeah, the other one is the door actuator. Is it the lock function? Yeah, the lock signal is the green one. So just got to find that within the door part here. So I cut those pins out of this one. This is for the door side. What I do on these ones, I just cut them kind of through the middle and then kind of use the Dremel just to kind of take away the top, and then the pins, you just break away sides and the pins come out, and that way you actually get the pins out. And I'll do it to this one again. I'll just cut it through the middle and get those pins out. So we use pink and orange, and then it just fits and keeps everything nice and clean. So I've got those pins inserted there, treating pink as the positive, orange is our neg. And so on this side, the black doesn't get used, and so the black that's on the orange up here goes on the blue in this one, which is the outside one, then the green and white. And we'll just turn the key on. Oh, there we go, working. I think I left the switch on. There we go, out, and then so the switch and everything works. So it's really just a bit of splicing, and you can actually get this working pretty easy. I still got to hook up the actuators, these ones, so when you unlock and lock, the mirrors will close and open. But yeah, we're getting there. So I'm going to make up the wire for the other side. So I'm going to make a wire that comes from the door, and then the plug will just I'm going to pop it through the rubber grommet that goes from the door to the main car body. And that'll poke through the rubber, and then we'll have a wire in between in the inside of the car that goes in between. But you want to plug in case you have to get the door off. So you can unplug it, take the door off, and that'll be the same for the other side. We will do, I'm going to make one up for the passengers, and then see if we can get it into the door and hook that one up, and then do one for the outside, and then make up the wire for the in-between part there. Okay, so that's what it looks like, the piece that's going to go inside the door, well, not in the door, but from the actual car. And then this goes, actually no, it does, yes, go into the door, sorry. This part gets wired into the door. This just pokes out inside into the inside of the car. So if you ever need to undo the door, unbolt it and stuff, you can just pull this back, and that'll allow you to take the whole thing off. You just wrap electrical tape around it, because you want to kind of thin the plastic conduit. You can buy this stuff. I run this inside the car. There's a lot more sharper things from door to door, so we'll use that. But getting it through the door and that, you just want this, and this will be fine. So just wrap it with electrical tape. I just left the end undone. I do wrap it in when I've connected it, then I'll wrap it final to the end. But gives you an idea of what that looks like. Pretty basic with a 2-prong plug on, whatever 2-prong plug or
however you want to connect those two wires, but yeah, up to you on that one. But yeah, that's what I use, just a 2-pin plug. Buy them off Amazon, buy these kits. Okay, just sorting out the actuator lock and unlock. So the lock is the green one coming from our kit, purple on the Sentra is lock, and green and yellow on this one is unlock. So if you get those hooked up, that's lock, that's unlock. So I'm just going to clip these, just use our tap and slice to tie into the line there. Just thread them through, and that should tie up that for now. Then I've just got to run the wire through underneath here to my other plug on that side, and I think we're almost done. Okay, I just finished building our cable that goes inside the car here. Let's put that wire in. Basically just put it inside a 1/4 inch conduit. Put the 2-pin plugs on either end, females to plug into the males that come from the door, and we should be good. So okay, next morning, I worked late last night, getting it all tied up. Got the carbon fiber skins on, get those on there. It's getting colder, so it's like, it's a nice warm day yesterday, so the 3M tape that I used wasn't really working too well for a change. 3Ms are usually pretty good, but so I actually ended up Gorilla gluing it down to keep them on there. But no, they came out good. Finishing, I probably could have finished it a little bit better on there, but otherwise not bad. This one closed up a little bit more because it had the right angle, better angle, same angle as it was when it came off 250Z. This one we turned out, angled it out a little bit, get the right angle so it doesn't close up as much. But as you can see, unlock and lock. Very cool. 350Z mirrors on a Nissan Sentra. No, I'm quite happy with that. Probably took me like over 4 months of just doing it, spare time. But that was a lot of just working things out. I mean, if you watch this video, you should be jumping ahead a lot faster on building them. Again, if you had someone who can 3D print, maybe print up these bases, but I mean, you can still use your originals with a bit of plastic welding. And really happy with the way that turned out. We'll chuck all the parts into the description. I don't think there's really anything else other than like, subscribe, and we'll catch you at the next one.